you. Hope the audio video is clear. Those of you are watching me live, please comment whether the audio video is clear. So welcome all of you to this new free lecture series we are starting. Yes, it is all perfect. So this is a series where we are discussing UPSC CSAT Comprehension Previous Year Questions. Yeah, PYQ means Previous Year Questions, so all of you are clear. So PYQ discussion series this is. So yeah, let me first give you an introduction as this is the first lecture. So in this we are discussing previous year questions of last 5 years which came in UPSC CSAT. So this series is primarily for UPSC aspirants, but for other aspirants who are preparing for comprehension test, this lectures will be useful. For example, GATE exam, there is comprehension, so those aspirants also can attend, but primary focus is to discuss previous year questions of UPSC CSAT alone, because the exam is also coming soon for UPSC. So UPSC aspirants, all of you can join, and please share this link so that more people join. The playlist link of UPSC CSAT complete playlist is also tagged in the chat. You can share it among your friends so that more people join this lecture live or recorded. So please take an effort. Those of you are watching me live or recorded, share this link to maximum people. Share it among your WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, or other social media handles if possible. Okay, so let us start. An intro about the course, an intro about me I'll just give you. So I provide free YouTube lectures and free study materials through my YouTube channel and Telegram channel. The Telegram channel, you can scan this QR code and find it, or check the description of the video. UPSC CSAT specific Telegram channel, you can find it, where you can find previous videos also and previous study materials that we have posted also, so that you can use it for your final revision, those who are preparing for the upcoming exam, and those of you who want to learn CSAT section from basics. You can see many of the lectures from basics, you can learn from those videos itself. And for quantitative aptitude and reasoning, we already have completed the series. That recordings are already available. This was the playlist UPSC CSAT in 30 minutes, where we discussed all the quantitative aptitude and reasoning topics. Every day 30 to 40 minutes we were sparing for that lectures. 40 lectures were there, and these were the 40 lectures in that playlist. 40 topics, all topics of quantitative aptitude and reasoning was covered. And at that time many people suggested they want a guidance for comprehension also. That is why we have started comprehension free lecture series also. And if more people are joining this initiatives, before exam, some exam hack video, simulator lectures, where the entire question paper will be discussed, or how to approach a question paper in exam hall, those kinds of things also will be discussed. So do support these initiatives, do hit the like button, do subscribe to the channel, do hit the bell icon, so that more people will be aware of the lecture, by YouTube also suggesting these videos to more people. And UPSC CSAT, you can see many of the playlist, many of the videos in the playlist, previous year questions. If you want more questions of previous years, the quantitative aptitude 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, all these questions are solved. And shortcut techniques, elimination, how to do, visual method, how to do, taking example, how to do, those things also we have discussed in detail in this UPSC CSAT playlist. The link is tagged in the chat so that you can access it. And these are the other playlists. For UPSC CSAT, there is a playlist where currently 55 videos, more videos will be updated in the future. And for other exams also, we have multiple playlists for GATE exam, for CSIR-NET exam, for speed maths, Vedic maths, etc. Those things also, you have multiple playlists in this channel. UPSC CSAT in 30 minutes, this is the name of the playlist where quantitative aptitude and reasoning part is covered. Okay, so that is the intro about other playlists in this channel. And for the new aspirants who are not aware about my classes or not aware about who I am, more about me, you can see here. My name is Christy Varghese. I have trained more than 2 lakh aspirants for UPSC and other exams combined. So 2 lakh aspirants in the last 10 years. So there is an I am teaching quantitative aptitude and reasoning for different competitive exams for the last 10 years, and I have written few books on aptitude. These are few of the books I have written for aptitude and speed maths, and I have also published for UPSC CSAT flashcards where all concepts are briefly or very crisply mentioned in a single set of flashcards that are also available in Google Books and Kindle and in our mobile application Christy's Classes. So these are the details of the flashcard ebook we are providing, and full length courses also for multiple exams we are providing. For UPSC we will be coming up with full length courses also, but for 2025 exam only. For 2024 exam, these free initiatives you can attend. By that itself you can learn a lot for the upcoming UPSC exam. So that's the intro. So I hope all of you have joined for the live lecture. So then let's start. As it was the first lecture, a little longer intro. So now let us start. So comprehension or reading comprehension. In some exams, comprehensions, I mean some competitive exams, comprehension section is not there. But in many competitive exams like UPSC, GATE exam, etc., comprehension is an unavoidable section. Yeah, unavoidable, but still some students avoid this section. This section, the problem is if you are not having a proper orientation how to approach, this section takes more time, and also this section there is chances of making negative marks. That is the reason that many people skip this section. Especially in UPSC, last exam, if we tell about 2023 exam, 27 questions were there from this section. It is not fixed that it is always 27. It can vary. 25 to 30 questions on an average we can say. 25 to 30 questions you can expect from this section. But completely skipping the 25 to 30 questions is not a good idea at all, because for UPSC, as you know, the cutoff is 66 mark out of 200. 66 marks without comprehension it is possible, but that is a risk that you are taking. So if you can get some mark from comprehension at least, that will be good. And that is what I am trying to do with this series, to give you confidence to get good number of questions from the section. And the other section, as I told, you can check out the other playlist and learn quantitative aptitude and reasoning part. So 25 UPSC CSAT previous year questions, that is what we are targeting in the series. 25 last 5 years previous year questions we will be discussing. 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020 and 2019. 5 questions each. Every day 5 questions, and I want you to try the question. So I will give you exactly 2 minutes to try. After that I will explain, so that the practice also happens, so that the tips and tricks also you can learn in the class itself. So that is the idea. So today we are discussing 2023 5 questions. In the quantitative aptitude and reasoning section, I told you about the shortcut approaches. These 15 shortcut approaches. Some of them visual method, taking example method, elimination, the different ways of eliminating options. Those things are more repeatedly needed in many questions. In comprehension also, these ideas are needed, but not the method as such, but these ideas are needed. Especially the idea of elimination. Idea of elimination means how to weed out the wrong options. That is very important. Okay, let me clarify one thing. In this YouTube channel, you can find English classes also, and English and Hindi classes also, but this series will be completely in English. But those people who understand more Hindi or want to ask your doubts in Hindi, you can mention the doubts in Hindi so that I can reply you. But the primary language for this series will be English itself. Hindi medium videos I have uploaded for comprehension, but not with UPSC PYQs. With GATE PYQs and all, you can check out those videos, but this video series will be completely in English. Okay, so let us start. So in comprehension, there are different types of questions. Different types of questions means in one question, the question may be asking critical message. What is the critical message conveyed in this passage? Or what is the critical message or crucial message the author want to convey? Or what are the assumptions made? What is the inference you can make? What is the implication? So these are some of the keywords that you will see, or these are some of the types of questions. So today with 2023 question, I will show you 5 variety questions or 5 types of questions from these keywords. Mainly today we will be discussing critical message, assumption type, inference type, implication type, and crux of the passage type questions. So these keywords you should have a basic idea that will help you to understand, but each of the keyword in detail discussion that will not be possible in today's class. With each question what is needed, that I will explain. For each question what was asked, related to that we will discuss more about it. And before starting questions, these things also it is good to know. The keywords, the types of questions, when I showed you the keywords, that are the types of questions that can be asked, how the question can be asked. But in the passage, you can see these kinds of keywords. You should understand what that keyword means. For example, similarly, moreover, additionally, likewise, in the same way, these means continuity. Hence, so these are continuity. And contrast. Contrast means an opposing view. We are telling something and another person is telling a totally opposite thing. So that is a contrast. For that, these keywords are we can see. That means when we see these keywords, you can say that most of the time that is a contrasting view or contrasting thing that is being explained there. But however, although, despite, etc., concluding, like in the end of the passage maybe, or if there are 2 passages, the first passage is concluded with these kinds of sentences or these kinds of words. So these keywords that is used for continuity, contrast, and conclusions, it is better to notice them because that will help you to understand what we are reading and which part of the passage we are understanding. And also, extreme words and possibility words, these are also important. Extreme words and possibility, because many a times extreme words when it is there in the options, that options have less chance to happen. I only say less chance. I'm not saying it is impossible to happen, but it have less chance to happen. But possibility words, again, that also cannot be generalized. It does not mean that if there is a possibility word, it should always be correct. But possibility words many a times have a better chance than extreme words. Extreme words means, we are saying extreme. Like we are saying that I'm 100% sure that I will fail in this exam. That means I'm saying in an extreme way that there is no chance that I will pass in the exam. Or I am 100% sure that I will pass the exam. But if I say I may pass the exam, it is possible that I will pass the exam. So that is possibility. So possibility and extreme, these keywords are also good to notice. Again, today's objective of today's class is discussing previous year questions. So these kinds of theory maybe we will discuss on a separate lecture. Do let me know in the chat and in comment section if you want a separate lecture on explanation of these keywords and these kinds of typical question terms that can be asked. About that, maybe we can plan for a session after this 5 lectures are over. And also, normally this comprehension passages can be done, or comprehension questions can be done in 2 ways. One is passage first and then question approach. Second is question first and then passage approach. So if the passage is so lengthy, it is better to go for question passage approach. First read question, make an overall idea what the question is asking, then go for the passage so that you can target for that question what is there in the passage. But if the passage is smaller, it is okay to go with passage first and question next, or any of these methods is okay if the passage is smaller. The passage is longer, it is better to go for second approach. Okay, so that also again we can see with the questions itself how to do them. Sure, Dayanand. With the questions you will get clarity on that. So we will start with the first question, 2023 CSAT question. First question we are discussing about crux of the passage type question. Crux of the passage type question. Crux of the passage just means main idea of the author, or what you can, sometimes it can also be called summary, but summary is not exactly as crux, but you can say that main idea or what we can say about the passage on a whole. So that is crux of the passage. So try this question. 2 minutes exactly. I will keep the timer. So 5 questions, 2 minutes each. So total 10 minutes. I will give you to try the 5 questions. So 1 question, 2 minutes each. In exam hall, you can use up to 2.5 minutes on an average, we can say. But some questions can be done in less than 2.5 minutes also. So according to the merit of the question, according to the length of the question, you have to decide how much time to spare. But more than 2.5 minutes is not needed at all. If a question is taking more than 2.5 minutes, it is better to skip that question and revisit that question later if time allows. Try this. Yeah, if you're not getting, you can mention that also in the chat. What are the challenges that you are posing? If you can mention in the chat or in the comment section, I can help you out better. So if you're watching me live or recorded, try to keep that routine. Interact in the class if possible. Okay, it's almost 2 minutes. Okay, if you got an answer, let's see whether it is right. If you are not confident about the answer also, please mention in the chat so that I can explain that option better, why that is not the correct answer. Because if in the chat or if in the comments, if I'm not seeing a particular option, that option I may go faster. I will explain all options, but in a faster way, because we have to complete 5 question practice today. So Shanti, crux as I told, crux means what is like how you can summarize or how you can the important aspect. Again, summary is something different, but it is more about an important aspect, main idea the author is trying to convey, we can say. So that is the crux of the passage. Okay, so let's see. So I will go with the question first, options next, approach itself, because the question is asking about crux of the passage. So crux of the passage means looking at the options, you have to remember too many things. That is why I will go with the question itself. And when you read the question, it is better to use your pen to like you are seeing a printed question paper itself. So you can lead your eyes with the pen itself, because that helps in fast reading actually, and to keep your focus. So I'm telling some practical tips also. This sessions will be a totally informal session. It will be not like a proper structured lecture or anything. This will be more like an informal session where I will give you practical suggestions, some mistakes that students commonly make. So those things from my experience of teaching for the last 10 years, I will just suggest you some things which I have heard from students. These are the common errors that they make when they analyze comprehension passage, or these are the major challenges that they face. That also I will try to explain. So you people also can mention in the chat and in comments what are the challenges you faced when you read this passage. Okay, so many people are not eating the right food. Many people are not eating the right food. For some, So it is explained. This sentence here, it is elaborating in the next sentence. For many people are not eating the right food. How it is, that is what is explained there. For some, for others. So two things are mentioned that we understand when you read the passage. It is simply a decision to stick with food they enjoy, but which is not too healthy. Yeah, when you use when you do comprehension passage, it is better not to use your general knowledge. In some questions only you can use general knowledge. I will point out where you can use your general knowledge. But even if you cannot use your general knowledge as such, but you can relate it with your more relatable examples that you can understand. For example, here when it is written, it is simply a decision to stick with food they enjoy, but that is not too healthy. For example, if you like a particular chips or chocolate more, or a junk food more, so that is an example you can relate to, na? So we are eating that particular thing only daily. Whenever we feel hungry or whenever we want a comfort food, we are eating that again and again and again. For example, a potato chips, which is not very healthy, especially the potato chips which comes in the packets or comes, the famous brand potato chips. But we stick on to that food itself, even if it is not healthy. So that is one way some people are not eating right food. And what is the problem with that? This is leading to an increase in non-communicable diseases. Okay, non-communicable disease means disease which is not spread by contact. For example, if you have COVID, that is not a non-communicable disease, that is a communicable disease. It can spread easily, na? But non-communicable disease, for example, diabetes or blood pressure. Because a person with BP is near to you, you don't have an extra chance to have BP, na? Or have diabetes. So that is an example of a non-communicable disease. Okay, let me tell you one thing. When I say the definition of non-communicable disease, when you see this passage for the first time, in case you don't know about non-communicable disease, don't worry too much about it. Some people, that is a major challenge in comprehension. They stuck with one word and they cannot move on. In real life also, that is not a good thing, na? If something is not good for you, it is better to skip it and move on, na? Same thing, if this word is confusing you or if this word you cannot understand it, skip it for the time's sake. Maybe you will understand it later when you proceed with this passage. So that is what you have to do. Again, practical suggestion. So non-communicable disease, this in turn means this will later lead to major burden on our healthcare system that have a potential to derail means change from its path. Again, you can guess, when I teach English section or verbal ability section for other exam, I say, if you understand prefix and suffix and main body, it is easy to guess the meaning of many words actually. D is a negative term and rail. You can relate to that and understand the meaning of that. Again, that we will discuss on another class, those kinds of things. Okay, so potential to derail the economic progress, which is essential for the poor to improve their lives. So what this sentence is trying to say is, so when non-communicable disease increases among a community, that will not be good for the healthcare system, because the country also have to provide more healthcare system or invest more on healthcare system, and that will affect the economic progress, and that will affect the life of the poor also, because if the economy is not good, the poor cannot be also not given enough, or not policies cannot be made such a way that the life of poor can be improved, na? So yeah, just because you eat a packet of potato chips, what all are happening in the world, that is what is mentioned in the passage. Again, not in a simple way, but what I am saying is, you can relate that way so that you will not forget. Okay, that is another challenge. If the passage is lengthy, the problem is, if you have a peripheral reading only, you will understand the first sentence, go on to the next sentence, you will forget first sentence, then second sentence only you will remember. That you can avoid if you relate to real life examples. Like when you relate to like not eating food with respect to your experience or your friend's experience, that will help you to understand the question better. Okay, continuing. For others, so that is one aspect of not eating right food. Second aspect, it is about limited access to nutritious food or a lack of affordability, leading to monotonous diets that do not provide the daily nutrients for them to develop fully. So the second problem is of not eating right food is not having enough right food. First is having enough right food, but we stick on to one particular diet which is not good for us. Second is not having nutritious food. Malnutrition we say na. For example, you can think about the poor countries in the world. Some of the African countries, for example, many people does not have access to good food na, or nutritious food. So that is the second problem that is addressed. Now, part of the reason nutrition is under threat worldwide. Now it is told about the nutrition, the second aspect. What is the reason for that? Worldwide is that our food systems are not properly responding to nutritional needs. That means food is there, but it is not enough for meeting our nutritional requirements. For example, in Indian scenario, we can think about most of our diets are based on carbohydrates. Na? More than proteins, most of our diets, not all, but most of our diets are based on carbohydrates. But that is not a good thing actually, or that is not a proper diet. Again, to relate, I am telling, worldwide there are other issues also. Somewhere along the long road from farm to fork, there are serious detours taking place. Farm to fork means from like in agriculture, the food is produced until it reaches our table. There are serious detours taking place, maybe due to the cooking technique that we are using or overcooking of some food that the nutrition is lost. I'm telling practical examples so that you can relate. Okay, so that is the entire passage. Which one of the following statement best reflects the crux of the passage? Now you have to use elimination in this question. How to do elimination better, that also I will tell you. The scheme of universal basic income should be implemented worldwide as a way of poverty alleviation. Poverty alleviation means reducing poverty. So this is telling about a specific schemes. When the crux of the passage is asked or the inference is asked, these kinds of keywords asked, specific keywords kind of options, there is very less chance to happen. This is telling about a specific scheme na, which is not at all mentioned in the passage. Yeah, that could have been the answer if the question is asking what is the best possible solution for this problem. Then option A could have been an answer if we have a proper understanding about universal basic income. But here proper solution that is not asked at all. In the passage what is mentioned, that is the crux of the passage na. So scheme of universal basic income, there is no mention about any such schemes in the question mainly only, or the passage only focuses about the problem, not the solution. That is why option A clearly can be eliminated. I hope it is clear. We must place food-based nutrition at the center of the policy debate. Okay, that have chances because about food-based nutrition, it is mentioned in the passage many times. Part of the reason nutrition is under threat worldwide is that our food systems are not properly responding to nutritional needs. So it is clearly mentioning about food-based nutrition, but we have a doubt about that whether this is the crux or any other options can be the better choice. Yeah, let me tell you that better choice, that is most important in these kinds of questions. Some options, two options may look okay. But which is better among them, that you have to choose. Option A clearly wrong. Option B, let us keep it aside and go to the next option. Nutritional status of food should be improved by creating appropriate genetically modified crops. Again, specificity. Genetically modified crops, that is a solution. In the passage, solution is not mentioned and a specific solution is not at all mentioned. When crux of the passage is asked, you cannot answer that. So clearly option C is rejected. Using modern food processing technologies, we must fortify. Fortifying means like fortified rice or fortified oil we hear na. That means to commonly used things we add nutrition. For example, iodized salt. In salt, we add iodine, or government take policies to add iodine so that iodine deficiency will not happen. So that is fortification. But that is a solution. The passage does not say about solutions at all. So option D is also not the answer. So it is very clear now. I say the power of negative thinking. We say the power of positive thinking always, na? But I will say the power of negative thinking is important in comprehension. Instead of finding the right answer, it is better to find the not right answer. Find the problem or find which option cannot be the answer. That is the power of negative thinking. Okay, all of you understood this question as it was the first question we discussed today. I took almost 15 minutes to discuss this question, but hope you understood it. In the now we will go a little faster. Biob, it is like when we complete the 5 questions, so till 9:30 or 1 hour, most probably today's class will be there. Upcoming classes will be shorter because after each class you will become faster, so that I have to explain lesser for each question. I will come to that also, Dayanand. All of you clear? Please respond. So question 1 is done, and an example of crux of the passage we discussed already from 2023. We are discussing crux of the passage question. Sorry, 2023 PYQs only in this session. Tomorrow 2022, then 2021, then 2020 and 2019. Okay, so try this one. Here crucial message is asked. Crucial message means important message. It is somewhat similar to crux itself, but not exactly similar. But when you hear crucial message, crucial means important message conveyed by the author. So author is trying to convey a message here. In the crux, author may or may not convey a message. It is telling about a problem only. But here the author is conveying a message. We have to identify that message. That is the idea of crucial message. So try this question. And new students, we provide free study materials through our Telegram channel. All the questions I am discussing in the class and all the remaining questions of 2023 PYQs with the answer key I will be posting as PDF itself, so that it will be easy for you to refer. Just the same format, you can see the PDF there. So that will be shared in our Telegram channel, so that you can use that for your further practice. And there is an associated Telegram group. By being part of Telegram channel, you can join the Telegram group also, where you can post your doubts when you try each question. When I get time, I will try to reply you. So try this question. 2 minutes, I will set the timer. Thank you all. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, thank you for the good words. Okay, try this question. Time is almost up. Okay, so as I told, crucial message means author is trying to convey a message. We have to identify that. So the emissions humans put into the atmosphere now will affect the climate in the middle of the century and onwards. So emissions means like the fuel emissions or other factory emissions we can think about. Emissions humans put into the atmosphere now will affect the climate in the middle of the century. So the present century they may be referring to and onwards. That means, for example, now if it is 2024, maybe 2050, or this may be in 2020th century. We don't know about that. That is another challenge in passages. This may be taken from a book or from an article. From the middle it will be taken. We don't know the context many of times. From the passage you have to guess the context. That is important. So anyway, which is that century, that is not important at all here. So don't worry about that. So technological change meanwhile. So it is telling about currently the problem of emissions it is mentioned. That will affect the climate in the middle. Yeah, now itself it is affecting the climate, you can relate it to. But technological change, due to change in technology, could make a future transition away from fossil fuels cheap, or it might not, leaving the world with a terrible choice between sharply reducing emissions at high cost or suffering through the effects of unabated warming. So unabated means without any reduction of intensity, with the same intensity itself. So about technological change, you can relate this to maybe electric vehicles. Electric vehicles, if it is being more common, yeah, it is claimed that that will reduce the effect on climate or effect on environment. Yeah, there are other views also, that is another thing. But electric vehicle, for example, if that is being more common, that will help, but maybe that is more costly. For example, now the electric vehicle cost is more than the petrol vehicle cost, but the long-term cost is lesser. But that is what is mentioned. Terrible choice between sharply reducing emissions at high cost. Either you have to spend more to reduce the emissions, or there is no other option that we have to suffer the more warming that is happening. So these are the only two choices that will happen. That is what the passage is saying. So businesses that do not hedge against, that hedge means tackle against, we can roughly understand it. Businesses that do not hedge against the threat of uncertain outcomes fail. The world cannot afford such recklessness on climate change. So from reading the whole passage, you understand that the author is trying to say that climate change is an issue that we have to do something for that, or that is a serious issue. So that we understand overall. Now with the options, you have to eliminate which option may not be the correct one. Businesses that cause emissions may need to close down or pay for pollution in future. Again, that is a solution. Maybe that solution can help. But maybe we can say that is a superficial solution also, because shutting all businesses that cause emission, that is not a good thing at all. But paying for pollution, that is a good suggestion. But that is again a solution, that is not a message conveyed in the passage. The message conveyed in the passage is the problem that can happen if we don't check the emissions that is happening now. So option A can be eliminated due to that. So the only solution, again I told you the extreme words, you have to take care of extreme words. This only in this word is an extreme word. It does not mean that always only is an extreme word, but here it is used in a pessimistic way. The only solution is technological development related to the issues of climate change. Yeah, about technological development also it is telling that it can be of huge cost also. So that is why only solution itself makes that not a probable answer. But if you have doubt, you can keep that option and see whether there is a better option. So only solution, again about solution, the author is not clearly mentioning at all. Author is mentioning about the problem mainly. So going for the third option, waiting to deal with carbon emission until technology improves is not a wise strategy. Yeah, because the author is saying technological change, that also a terrible choice, leaving the world with a terrible choice between sharply reducing emissions at high cost or suffering to the effects of unabated warming. If we wait for technological change to happen, By that time the warming will be more, that it is not possible to survive at all. That is what we can guess from the passage, that is what the author is trying to convey. The waiting to deal with carbon emissions until technology improves is not a wise strategy. That makes sense, better than option B. Let's go for option D also, if it makes more sense. Since future technological change is uncertain, new industries should be based on renewable energy sources. Again, that is a solution. Renewable source, new industries should be based on renewable source. That is not mentioned at all. So that is why option D is also not conveying the message. The message conveyed is emission is a serious thing. We have to do something for that now itself. Don't wait for the future change in technology. So option C is the best choice. Did you all understood it? So weeding out wrong options is very important. Selecting right answer also depends upon how good you are at rejecting wrong options. So option C is the better choice here. So the crux of the passage, crucial message of the passage, hope you got an idea. Then the third question, implication type question. Imply or implication. What is the meaning of implication? Cause of some situation or some problem will be described in the passage and we are asked to find its effect. Like a cause-effect scenario. That means here you can actually think about the solution part or anything. The previous two questions were the crux or crucial message. There you cannot just mention something that is not at all there in the passage as an extra solution for the problem. But here imply means it may not be explicitly mentioned in the passage, but from the passage we can guess that this is a solution that it can lead to, or this is something that it may not be problem solution only. It can be some issue and the effect of it, or some cause and its effect also. With this question I will explain more about it. So go through this question or go through this passage. Two minutes to try, all of you try. Hope all four options are visible. I'll just change the camera a bit so that all four options change the position of the slide. Again, some technical words are there in the passage. If you are not familiar with them, don't worry too much. Yeah, but being UPSC aspirants, I think you are familiar with these technical terms also. But what I am saying is, if you are not very clear about it also, don't worry too much. That is not the more important thing. Okay, it's almost 2.5 minutes. Because if you're watching the recording, you can pause the video and take maybe 1 minute extra if you haven't completed. But in the live class, if I give more time, the lecture will be too long. That is why I will start explaining. So to tackle the problem of pollution, so here the implication from the passage, what is implied? Implication means it may not be directly mentioned. It may not be explicitly mentioned in the passage. So let us understand. To tackle the problem of pollutions in the cities, policymakers think that drastic actions like temporary use of odd-even numbers scheme of vehicles. Yeah, this is very much relatable to in Delhi, in many states, similar policies are implemented, I guess. In many cities, this is implemented, but in Delhi, this odd-even number scheme, I don't know, now also it is there. You people know better about it, I guess. Yeah, I was in Delhi like 4 years back. At that time, most of these things were there actually, implemented there actually. That temporary use of odd-even number schemes for vehicle, closing schools, factories, construction activities, and banning the use of certain type of vehicles are a way forward. So it is told about some of the policies that is made for reducing pollution. But next sentence is saying that that is not actually very helpful. So not there now. Okay. Thanks for the information. In Delhi, now it is not there now. Okay. So even then the air is not clean. Even if this is done, it's a temporary. Again, this keyword temporary helps actually. That is about temporary use of odd-even scheme. But in general also what they are trying to say is these are just peripheral solutions. These are not the proper solution. That is what it is trying to say. Again, it is telling about vehicles more than 13 years old comprise 1%. Yeah, 13 years, and some states it is 15 years. More than 15-year-old vehicle cannot be used anymore. In many states that is still there, I guess. So vehicles more than 13-year-old comprise 1%. So that is also not a solution. That is what they are trying to convey. And taking them off the road will not make any difference. As it is only 1%, remaining 99% vehicles are there, and that is causing more pollution. That is what they are trying to say. Banning certain fuels and car types. Yeah, for example, diesel fuels are banned in some places actually. Or a particular vehicle diesel versions cannot be used at all. So that is also not a proper solution. That is what is mentioned. Diesel engines produce more PM. PM means, I think, particle matter, right? Particle matter 2.5. That is a particular keyword, and less CO2 than petrol or CNG engines. On the other hand means a contrary idea is mentioned. Both diesel and CNG engines produce more nitrous oxide than petrol engine. So it is told that there are advantages and disadvantages of using one fuel over the other. So banning one particular fuel only, that is not a proper solution. So no one has measured the amount of nitrous oxide that CNG engines are emitting. So about CNG engines, we don't even know that how much it is. Like many places, CNG engines are promoted over petrol and diesel engines. Now, that is also not a good measure. That is what it is trying to say, because we don't even know whether CNG engines are producing. Yeah, nitrous oxide is not a good gas. So if it is producing more emissions, that is not a good solution at all. Now, arbitrary bans on vehicles that have passed mandated fitness test and periodic pollution test are unfair. So due to these things, some vehicles are banned even if it is fit. All the pollution fitness or other fitness are completed. Still, maybe because it is 13-year-old, it is banned or it is taken out from the road, or due to diesel engine that is taken out. These things are not the right way. That is what the author is trying to convey. So what is needed is now the solution is also mentioned. What is needed is a scientific and reliable information about the source of pollutants. We should understand what is actually causing more pollution. What is the source on a continuing basis, and the technologies that will work to reduce pollution from them. How to reduce pollution from those sources, that we have to think about. Okay, so which of the following statement best reflects the most logical and rational implication? What is implied from this? Implied means, as I told, it is not directly, you cannot take the keyword from the question and say that keyword is there in this option, so that option is correct. Don't do that, especially in implication type questions. Arbitrary curbs on vehicles to reduce pollution are difficult to implement. Again, it is not about difficult or not difficult. It is saying that control over vehicle due to it being more old or using a particular fuel, that is not a right solution. So this is not an implication at all. Knee-jerk reactions. Again, knee-jerk reactions, simply speaking, knee-jerk reaction means a problem is happening, an immediate solution for that. For example, we are having a headache for many days. We are taking a particular medicine for headache without knowing the reason for the headache, or we don't want a reason for the headache. What is causing this headache, we don't want to know. We are just taking a medicine that will work for the headache without any diagnosis. So that is an example of a knee-jerk solution. That is an immediate solution for the problem. That is not a long-term solution. So knee-jerk reactions cannot solve the problem of pollution. Is but an evidence-based approach will be more effective. Yeah, clearly it is mentioned. These are unfair. Still the air is not clean. And finally, it is told about scientific and reliable information about the source of pollutants. So that is an evidence-based approach. That is why option B clearly is a better choice. Let us check other options also. A heavy penalty should be enforced on those driving without periodic pollution test. That is also not a solution, or that is not an implication. The whole implication of this passage is we have to go for more scientific, more evidence-based approach rather than going for a peripheral approach, an easy approach of removing particular things which is may or may not be causing the pollution more. So this is not implied at all. In the absence of laws to deal with the problems of pollution, administration tends to make arbitrary decisions. Again, that is not the implication. Why administration took that decision, that is not our problem at all. The whole passage is trying to say about the wrong identification of problem and how it should be identified better. So clearly option B is the better choice. All of you understood it, please respond. So option B is the better choice. So that is an implication type question. This is a cause and this is the effect. Cause, that pollution is still there even if we implied some policies. So the effect is we have to make a better policy for that, for the result of that. Okay, so now fourth type or fourth question of UPSC CSAT 2023, inference type question. Inference type. So here you have to be more of a detective. Inference means derived using facts, evidence or observation. That also does not mean that it will be explicitly mentioned in the passage. Don't go for a keyword and that keyword there in the options. Don't conclude that way. That is not the way for inference type question also. You have to deduce. You have to be like Sherlock Holmes. In this TV series of Sherlock Holmes also it is mentioned about science of deduction. So you have to do the deduction properly from the passage. So with question I will explain 2 minutes. Try the question super fast. We will conclude the session in 10 minutes. So we'll go a little faster. So exactly in 2 minutes I will start explaining. Okay, time is up. If you understood the passage, and once again asking all of you are understanding the concepts I'm explaining and understanding the way of analysis I'm doing in the class, I hope. If so, please hit the like button. That will help this video to reach to more people, and do comment on this video what you felt about this or what you felt about this lecture, and if possible share it among your friends so that they can access the upcoming classes also as live lectures itself. Okay, so elephants are landscape architects. Landscape architects, again, architect, you know what it is. Landscape, you know what it is. So landscape architects means architects which makes landscape. So creating clearings in the forest. Clearings in the forest means clears the forest. Preventing overgrowth of certain plant species. A particular species is growing more. That is not helping the ecosystem. So due to the elephants, that can be controlled. And allowing space for regeneration of others. So if a particular plant is growing and maybe some other plants may not be able to grow, that is again not helpful for the ecosystem at all. The elephants are able to control that, which in turn provides sustenance to other herbivorous animals. So allowing space for regeneration of other plants, that will help plant-eating animals. Herbivorous means plant-eating animals. Plant-eating animals to survive, or sustenance. Sustenance means exist. Helping in existing. So elephants eat plants. Now it is again just told about good thing about elephants. Elephants eat plants, fruits and seeds. Propagating the seeds. So they eat plants, fruits and seeds from a particular place, and they defecate in some other place, means that particular plant or that particular fruits or seed can grow in another place. So that again will improve the ecosystem or diversity of the ecosystem. Elephant dung provides, now it is told about elephant dung, provides nourishment to plants and animals and acts as a breeding ground for insects. The insects also will be growing. So in times of drought, so when water scarcity is there, the elephants access water by digging holes, which will benefit other wildlife. So for other wildlife also it will be helpful, or they will also get water. So it is told about how elephants are being landscape architects, or how elephants are helping in improving and improving the biodiversity, or the or helping in improving an ecosystem. So which of the following is the most logical rational inference? So from the evidences only we have to make an inference. The home range of animals, elephants need to be a vast area. It is not mentioned anywhere that elephants need more area or more biodiversity for the elephants. No, elephants help in improving the rich biodiversity, but it is not told that elephants can exist only if there is a rich biodiversity or vast area of biodiversity. That is not an inference at all. Elephants are keystone species. Keystone species means the species that is defining the biodiversity, or defining the ecosystem. Elephants are keystone species and they benefit the biodiversity. Yeah, it is clearly mentioned. It is benefiting, how all it is benefiting, regeneration of others, preventing overgrowth of certain plant species, and breeding ground for insects, or insects will be able to survive more, and benefits of other wildlife when in drought. So they are keystone species and they benefit in biodiversity. That is making very much sense. Again, if you have doubt, go for the other options also. Rich biodiversity cannot be, here cannot be is used as an extreme word itself. Cannot be maintained in the forest without the presence of elephants. Yeah, elephants are helpful. We don't know any other species are also helpful. If you say, like, this is a problem that we also have in real life also, we hear about we hear many things about a particular person or a particular leader. Then we think that that particular leader, without that we cannot survive, or that particular leader, a person is important and he or she cannot be avoided in our life, or he or she is needed for our development. Same way, here it is mentioned about the good things elephants do, and elephants are very good, but cannot be maintained without elephants. We don't know about it. May be true, may not be true, but that is not an inference. Inference should be deduced from the given information only, derived using facts, evidence and observation. You cannot just randomly say elephants. Yeah, we know that. Don't use general knowledge there. There, if you use general knowledge, you may go wrong. Yeah, if you use general knowledge also, you know that elephants, there are other things also that can improve the rich biodiversity. Places where elephants are not present also, rich biodiversity can be seen. That way also you can relate. Anyway, whichever way if you look at, option C is not the right option at all. Similarly, finally, option D, elephants are capable of regenerating forests with species as per their requirement. This itself is an extreme keyword or extreme phrase. As per their requirement, elephants can regenerate forests. No. It is a natural thing that is happening. It is not like elephants are thinking that we will do this and according to their wish they will do that. No. Clearly option D is wrong. Option B is the clear choice. All clear? Please respond. That is an inference type question. Hope all of you understood. The last question we are discussing today, assumption type question. This is a type of question that many people are confused what to do, or they understand the question itself wrongly. Assumption, they think that assumption is something that you have to take from the passage. Assumption is not something that you have to take directly from the passage, but from the passage you get an idea what is being assumed. Assumption means assume. What is assumed? I am assuming that this person is like this. That is an assumption I am making. And here, yeah, look at the, try the question. After that I will explain more. That will be better. 2023 also about 3 or 4 questions were there from the assumption type itself. One second, I think some words are missing. Just a minute, let me just check. Yeah, it's full stop only is the all she inherently means by default, or um, on the first place we can say. Again, not exact translation. Inherently means we are just assuming that it is already safer and healthier, or by default it is safer and healthier. Okay, so time is up. I'll explain. So here, what is assumed, that is what we have to say. There is a claim that organic farming is inherently safer and healthier. There is a claim, that means there is an idea that, yeah, in real also that happens now. Some people believe that whatever is organic is always safe and healthier. But many organic things are not good at all. Or many things we consider organic are not good for us at all. So, it is a claim that organic farming is inherently safer and healthier. The reality is that because the organic, now this is the claim or that is the belief, but the reality is that because the organic farming industry is still young and not well regulated in India. So it is young, that there is no proper, like, it is not organic more things that we are having now. Now there's a trend that we are shifting to more organic. So as it is a young industry and it is not well regulated, farmers and consumers alike are not only confused about what products are best for them, but sometimes use products in ways that could harm them as well. So about that is explained. So there is no proper awareness what to be done, what not to be done in organic farming. Due to that, what happens? They produce sometimes that products that is not good for them, and also they produce, or this also this can happen that it could harm. Some products can harm them also. Health wise, it can harm them also. For example, since organic fertilizers are difficult to obtain on a large scale in India, farmers often use farmyard manure, which may contain toxic chemicals and heavy metals. So this farmyard manure is not actually fully good. That is what the passage is saying. It may contain toxic chemicals and heavy metals also. But as farmers are not aware of it, they are using it, and that may not be helpful for them. Certain plant sprays such as datura flower and leaf spray have an element called atropine. About atropine, it is mentioned, if it is not applied in the right dose, it can act on the nervous system of the consumer. That means it can actually cause health issues to the consumer also. So what are the problems that the farmer can have? That is also mentioned. What are the problem that a consumer can have? About that also an example is mentioned. Unfortunately, how much and when to use it is not well researched or regulated. So that is what is mentioned. So from that, what is assumed? This sentence, organic farming is inherently unsafe, that is not mentioned at all. It is told about the not regulating it or not proper research happening. It is not, this is clearly an extreme word. Inherently unsafe here. Yeah, there is a claim that it is inherently safe. Again, this is another problem we have. We always think in extremes, na? Either good or bad. We don't think about the gray area in between. So here also, safer, we can't say it is safer, does not mean it is unsafe also. Na? Some things you have to regulate it so that it can be made properly safe. That is what the passage is trying to say. So this is not an assumption at all, because the author does not have such an assumption when writing this passage, that organic farming is completely unsafe for farmers and consumers. No, it is only telling about some of the things, some of the cases. So this is not an assumption that have been made by the author. What the author have assumed while writing the passage, that is what we are thinking about. Farmers and consumers need to be educated about eco-friendly food. Yeah, that is actually something that is assumed, because the author is also not against organic farming completely. Author is telling about the inexperience. So if the farmers are educated about eco-friendly food, that is a good thing. And about that, it is also hindered also, because it is mentioned that farmers and consumers alike are not confused about what products are best for them, but sometimes use products in ways that could harm them as well. So they should be educated about it, about eco-friendly food. So This is an assumption that, again, from the tone of the passage, that is another type of question. What is the tone of the passage or tone of the author? So understanding the tone of the author here, we understand that what the author is trying to convey or what the author is assuming is eco-friendly food is good, but depending too much on organic farming is not a good idea, because that is not a well-regulated or well experience is not there, or a good experience is not there. That is why that should not be done without any regulation. That is what the author is saying. So this can be assumed, or this is an assumption that have been made. So second is the better choice. But let me tell you, assumption type question is a little trickier one. Here also first statement is clearly eliminatable. But second statement in exam hall, it is not that simple as I have told now. Because exam pressure is a real thing. In exam panic, some simple things or moderate things also can appear very confusing. That is why assumption type question, be very careful while you read it or try it. And especially when multiple statements which are correct, there are many possibilities. One only correct, two only correct, both correct, none correct. So there should be you should analyze it properly. That is what I want to try, because but that is what I want to tell. Because if 4 options, 1 is correct, that is more safer actually. You can eliminate 3 options and remaining is correct. But here, 1 being correct, that does not make 2 being incorrect or correct. 2 being correct does not make 1 incorrect or correct. So the choice you have to make in exam hall, whether the question is readable, doable, easily understandable, then only go for an assumption question. Otherwise, if it is confusing, you always have the choice to choose the question. I always tell about the example of cricket batsman. A good cricket batsman know which is the right ball and which is the wrong ball to leave also. That is very important. And why a person depends too much on one type of question? That is because you are not practiced all the sections. Especially in case of UPSC CSAT, you have to prepare all sections of UPSC CSAT: quantitative aptitude, reasoning and comprehension. So quantitative aptitude, I have given a full playlist in this channel, reminding new students once again, 40 free lectures are given in this channel for quantitative aptitude and reasoning alone. And for shortcut techniques and all, that are also provided in this playlist of UPSC CSAT. That is tagged in the chat, UPSC CSAT complete playlist. In the comment section also it will be tagged. So this playlist, follow this, new students, so that you can learn more about other chapters before exam. You can use it for revision. We have kept it like 30 to 40 minutes each lecture, so that you don't have to invest more of your time on CSAT before exam. Lesser time if you invest also, you can go through all these chapters and share it among your friends also, so that more people get awareness of it. So did you all understood these 5 questions we discussed? Like to hear from all of you. What did you felt good about this session, or what more is needed in these sessions? Like to hear from you. Today's session was a lengthy session. Tomorrow onwards it will be maximum 1 hour. We will not be exceeding more than that. Today some general things, information about the course, those things I had to tell more in detail. But tomorrow onwards 8:30 to 9:30 maximum. For 5 days the series will continue. So, and also be part of our Telegram channel. Check the description of the video to be part of it, so that you can get updates and free study materials, the PDF of these questions and the other questions in the 2023, all other questions that was asked from comprehension. I will prepare the answer key of that also and provide the study materials in the group. By tomorrow you will get it. And quantitative aptitude and reasoning also, all 40 topics study materials are available in our Telegram channel. That also you can check out. And if you want flashcard ebook, you can check it out in our mobile application. The link is there in the mobile application. Actually there's a technical issue due to which it is not visible in Play Store for 2-3 days. That issue will be resolved by coming Thursday. That is 6th June. By 6th June it will be available. So currently, if the mobile application is not accessible, you can check out the flashcards in Kindle and Google Books. It is available now, so that you can check out, or wait for the Google Play app to be visible in Google Play, so that you can download it. And till exam it is available at a nominal price. In the future it will be available in Amazon as a hard copy book also. Many people ask whether we can get the hard copy. Currently hard copy is not available. Next month, in 1 month, we are trying to make it available in Amazon as hard copy. So if you are watching this video after 1 month, now it may be already available in Amazon. Thank you so much, Rojin. Thank you so much for the good words. So that's it. Thank you all of you for attending the session. Please share it among your friends. Please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon. I'm not telling this for my validation or anything. I'm telling this because this is how YouTube algorithm works. I want these free initiatives to reach to maximum people. For that, you people engaging in this comment section, that is how YouTube understand that, okay, this is a lecture or this is a video that should be recommended to more people. So if you felt this is useful for you, do let me know in the comment section, and do share it among your friends, and do share it in the Telegram groups or Telegram channels. Or if any aspirant is asking about which material is available for comprehension or quantitative aptitude or reasoning section, do suggest them so that they will get to know about this free classes. So that's it. Thank you all of you. Take care all of you. Welcome all of you to be part of the upcoming lectures also. The other free resources also, you all are welcome to access and suggest to your friends also. So that's it. Thank you all of you. Take care all of you. Have a good night. Today we discussed about this 5 keywords or 5 types of questions. I will include other types of questions, summary type question, conclusion type question, corollary type question, tone of the other type questions in the upcoming lectures, so that with previous year questions itself you get practice and learning of concepts and shortcut tricks and how to save time. All things you will be able to get understanding from these lectures. And if possible, we will plan for a separate video where we discuss more theory of each of these things. Do let me know if you want such a session after this 5 videos. So thank you. Take care. Bye bye. Have a good night.